If you want to smuggle so much contraband that you make El Chapo your bitch, then listen up, because this video will show you the best way to do that. And I'll show you the secrets to smuggling contraband that nobody knows about, so stay tuned. Contraband are some of the most valuable items in Starfield, and they're denoted by this yellow icon. There are a variety of ways to obtain contraband. Aurora can be bought or crafted, but it's also the cheapest, so not worth discussing. One way to get contraband is from pirates. As far as I know, every hostile faction except Varun has contraband in their ships. You can counter them randomly by traveling around, or more reliably, take out bounties from the mission board. Or if you're feeling extra spicy, jump to the Crick system where the Crimson Fleet is based. For example, here we see 4 ships in this Banshee bounty. After disabling and boarding all these ships, here's all the contraband I got from them. Not bad for a bounty. Pro tip: when selecting a bounty, avoid Class C ships, because contrary to popular belief, bigger ships doesn't mean more contraband. It just makes them more spread out, unless you intend to steal and sell the ship as well. Another way is through contraband caches. These can be found throughout the settled systems, and they usually contain a lot of contraband in them, sometimes more than a dozen. But there is one place that has the motherload of contraband. I'm talking about Vulture's Roost. If you don't know where it is, it's located in the Jaffa system, below Crix. Vulture's Roost will be located in Jaffa 4. After clearing the lower level, head up to the upper level. From the reception area, head to the catwalk and keep going straight until you encounter a locked door. Unlocking it leads you to the barracks for the Ecliptic mercs that are stationed here. 2 of the rooms have contraband in them, which you can tell by the more difficult locks. Both rooms have contraband lying around and a contraband cache. Heading to the bar area, there's contraband on the center table. Then at the office area, there's a locked office containing contraband and an unlocked chest. Then there's an expert lock room beside it with more contraband. And if it's your first time in Vulture's Roost, if you head outside, you'll see a free ship you can steal called the Dagger. Inside the Dagger is, once again, more contraband. In total, here's all the contraband that I got from Vulture's Roost. And I gotta say, that's a lot of contraband. But of course, what's the point of all this if you're not making money off of them? Like, harvested organs seems nice to have, but I don't need an extra kidney. Yet, you can invest in shielded cargo holds and smuggle and sell them in cities, or sell them at the Den in the Wolf system, at the Red Mile in the Porma system, and if you have the Crimson Fleet questline, the Key in the Crick system. If you don't have a lot of contraband, then it makes sense to go to the Den and or Red Mile and sell it there. Trade Authority vendors take 48 hours to refresh. You can bypass that by sleeping an hour in Venus. But what if I told you, you can smuggle a metric shit ton of contraband without shielded cargo or jammers into cities? How much contraband? This much.
Ah! It's not a liquid! It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface! Ah!
That's right. You can smuggle virtually unlimited contraband without any shielded cargo space or jammers and never get caught. Here's what you do. First, you have to have explored every settlement where contraband is illegal and has a trade authority. You don't have to fully explore it, you only have to have been there, which shouldn't be hard. You also need a ship with a lot of fuel capacity because you're going to be traveling long distances. Then, before you start smuggling, jump to a settlement where you have to undergo a contraband check. It could be New Atlantis, Aquila, doesn't matter, and wait for the check to complete. Once you've done that, now it's time to start smuggling. So I've raided Vulture's Roost again, and I'm back in my ship. First thing I do is drop all the contraband. Since the contraband is still in my ship, if I try to go to Neon, for example, you don't get the option to land there. You have to jump and get scanned. But if I leave my ship, suddenly I have the option to land at Neon. And what do you know? I've landed my ship at Neon. If I get back in my ship, all the contraband is still there for me to pick up and sell. Any excess I can't sell, I drop them in my ship, exit, and repeat the process for the other cities. And while you're there, you can use the opportunity to buy more digipicks and meds. I recommend selling to the Den, Red Mile, and the Key last because there's no contraband checks, so you don't have to drop them in your ship. Once you've completely exhausted all the vendors and still have leftover contraband, land at Venus, sleep for an hour, and repeat the cycle. And that's how you smuggle without having any shielded cargo or jammers. But there's way more contraband out there besides Vulture's Roost. First, I make a trip to the Deimos armored transport, which has contraband in the vent. Then I head to the Almagest in Olympus, which also has contraband in the vent. Then the Porma system, which has 2 contraband chests. Paradiso has a contraband chest on the left side of the beach. Porma 3, behind the Red Mile Tower, there's an airlock, which can be quite a trip, and it'll be pretty difficult without amp and high level boost pack training. Then heading to Neon, there are 3 contraband chests you can loot. Neon Security HQ has a contraband chest. The Syndicate has a contraband chest on the 2nd floor behind a locked door. To get there, from Neon Security HQ, head left and take the first door out to Neon. Then head straight and turn left into Frankie's Grab and Go. You can pickpocket the keycard off of Frankie to unlock door, or enter in through the vent on the roof. The 3rd chest is in Slayton's office. Unfortunately, it requires a key that I can't find, and the only way I can unlock it is with console commands. But if you know a way to get in without cheats, or know where the key is, let me know in the comments below. Next we head to Cheyenne. There's a contraband chest in the empty nest. And last but not least, we head to Gagarin Landing in Alpha Centauri. There's a contraband chest in the UC Security office. And that's all known contraband chest locations in Starfield, at least the ones I'm aware of. This is how much contraband I got from all these chests that I mentioned. With max commerce skill, I'd have to sleep at least 4 times on Venus to sell it all. Once you do, you can do it again. It takes about 900 hours for contraband to refresh in Vulture's Roost, which I believe is the longest compared to the others. Pro tip: if you see a steal prompt when picking up contraband, make sure you're crouched and hidden before picking it up. Otherwise, you'll get a massive bounty. Special mention, there is a contraband chest in the Ecliptic base in Masada, but it has never refreshed for me, so I didn't include it. And neither does the contraband chest in the Colander in Schrodinger. But wait, there's more, because there are points of interest that also contain contraband chests. These are all the POIs that I know of that contain contraband chests. If I miss any, let me know in the comments below. These POIs come in 2 forms: fixed POIs and procedurally generated POIs. Fixed ones are the ones you can see from the orbital map. Procedural ones are generated when you land on the surface. Unfortunately, unlike the previous chests that I mentioned, these don't regenerate, at least as far as I know. I thought they did, at least in fixed POIs, but I don't know, maybe I'm gaslighting myself. If yours regenerates, or you know how to get them to regenerate, let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe and ring that bell. While making this video, I went down this huge rabbit hole about the nature of the game itself, and I gotta say it's pretty spicy, but I'll discuss that in a future video. As for Contraband itself, is it the best way to make money? No, it's not. But it is legit and anyone can do it, provided they have high enough lockpicking skill, and you can definitely improve it with mods. Speaking of making money, if you want to know how to board multiple ships in the same fight, like I did earlier in the video, and sell them, then I highly recommend you watch this video right here.